Well, apparently, it's already Halloween.
Which means I need to change my shirt.
Oh, that's better. And if I didn't have enough Halloween stuff already, I know the best place to get even more. Welcome to Rogers Gardens. Now, Rogers Gardens is a fancy place. The kind of place where you go to buy a $700 stone-looking pot or a bedazzled garden pillow with real pearls on it. It's a very fancy place, a rich place, a place right down by the ocean. Not normally the kind of place you'd see me hanging around or shopping, but they do have two very important attractions that appeal to me. One, as I showed everybody years and years ago, they have the original Disneyland Town Square gazebo and bandstand here at Rogers Gardens, which is now actually getting pretty difficult to see from the outside. It's been consumed by the restaurant here. And two, they go crazy decorating for the holidays. And this year, for Halloween, the theme is Nightmare Before Christmas. There it is right over there, the Halloween boutique. Check this out. They have gone full Tim Burton this year. I mean, before you even get in, look at the fountain. These are incredible, usually one-of-a-kind pieces. And actually, before we get any further, I should say, although this place is very, very fancy and they clearly spend a lot of money on decorators for these things, there's a very crafty, almost DIY quality to all the custom-made decorations that make me a huge fan of coming to see them every year. And not just me, but a lot, and I mean a lot of other people. In fact, this is the longest I've ever stood in front of any Rogers Garden Halloween display without seeing anyone take a selfie in front of it. Normally, this is so popular with selfies, they sometimes even have to form long lines. So pro tip before we enter, if you're gonna come down here, come on a weekday. All right, speaking of long lines, we better head in before something changes out here. But look at this. Look at these decorations. These are just hand-cut, hand-painted wooden signs, basically. Check this out. Look at all the inhabitants of Halloween Town over here. And look on the other side, you've got Lock, Shock, and Barrel in the bathtub. All of these, I believe, are one-of-a-kind pieces. And the crazy thing is, although you can't walk away with them today, obviously, this early in the exhibit, if you're prepared to pay up, everything is for sale. Even that fountain we saw outside is for sale. In fact, it's already sold. All right, all this so far has just been a teaser. Now prepare to have your mind blown as we enter the Halloween boutique. Dude, would you look at the size of this place? There are spooky sounds, lots of different Halloween decorations for sale everywhere, but of course, best of all are the custom pieces of theming. Look at this. It's the King of Halloween, Jack Skellington, as you've never seen him before. But wait, there's more. So much more. Look at all the residents of Halloween Town in this place. Whether we're talking about flat painted wooden cutouts or full-on, very creepy mannequins. Each one is a unique piece of art that presumably, anyway, you will never see anywhere else ever again. Dude, this is awesome. I particularly like their solution for finding hands for the mayor. Look at those tiny little hands. That's so they can fit them in everyone else's pocket, right? Dirty politicians. Dude, this place is incredible. Normally, I like to think of Nightmare Before Christmas as a Christmas movie, not really a Halloween movie. You know, since it starts when Halloween ends, but they are the residents of Halloween Town. What I like about this is it's not Christmassy at all. It's showing us what the Halloween Town folks do best. Look at all the stuff in here. This is just in the first room, by the way. There's still a whole lot more to see. I love how many skulls they have in here. This one's almost life-size. Alas, poor Yorick. I love the way each little cabinet and shelf is themed and decorated in its own way. And as you'll see coming up ahead, there is a lot of epic stuff in these display spaces. I mean, bedazzled masquerade skeletons aren't really my thing, or jewel-encrusted witches, but if they're not your thing either, don't worry. They've got a lot of what I'm actually interested in too. Vintage Halloween items. Well, vintage themed. Look at these columns here. This is what I was talking about, DIY style. It's some kind of like paper mache material and cardboard underneath. Look at this, even the fancy archway overhead is just basically pieces of paper and a little bit of duct tape. That's what I like about coming to look at these displays. They're ridiculously creative. Look at these tombstones right here, including zeros. I think they're made out of some kind of resin. They look like styrofoam. That's just because of this weird paint job somebody gave them. They are hard-coated with something. They might even be plaster. Gotta be careful with them, though, because they are already sold. See that little tag down there? From what I understand, the displays sell, like within the first couple of days every year. What do you think, Allie?
Really cool.
Yeah, you already got your pictures in here yesterday, and now we're back again. How many times are we coming this year?
I don't know.
Every day?
Maybe.
As I just mentioned, we were actually here yesterday, but I'm already seeing things I didn't even notice yesterday, like this flickering skull. Or best of all, on top of the shelf, look at the custom jars right here from the laboratory. Nothing's more suspicious than frog's breath. I love anything custom made or handmade, or at least hand assembled, you know? The items for sale are cool, but I've been very distracted by the props. And can you blame me? Just look at this. There's nothing better than Jack Skellington as a creepy scarecrow with his freaky pumpkin head and his creepy Tim Burton hands, his wicker legs. But the best thing of all, look at that wooden Halloween Town sign. I think I could do a better one. Challenge accepted. It is so freaking impressive in here, and just look at this. Well, it's not exactly Nightmare Before Christmas themed, but look at this pumpkin tree. It's all made out of cardboard and paper and glue, with just a couple of leaves thrown on there, fake leaves, and best of all, old school, vintage looking paper mache pumpkins. This one reminds me of me. These are actually made of paper mache. I have no idea what they're made out of, but they're very lightweight. And the eyes, those glass eyes, so creepy. Guys, this room, this is where the fun begins for me and Allie, because this is where it goes full vintage, full classic, with pumpkin pillows and vintage looking Halloween figurines, very old school, traditional looking plush dolls and decorations. But best of all, there are shelves of the greatest kind of Halloween decoration of all time. A kind of Halloween decoration that's been largely absent from store shelves for at least the last 10 years or so. When I saw this yesterday, I screamed Allie's name out loud in here. It's the return of the traditional Halloween blow mold. Look at these vintage style light up blow molds. There are shelf after shelf of them. 3 different designs. The vintage trick-or-treat witch, the old school pumpkin clown, which kind of sounds weird today, but trust me, back in the day, it was a very common vintage Halloween image. In fact, one of my first Halloween costumes ever was a little pumpkin clown costume, which my mom recently gave back to me, but that's neither here nor there. Because third, last, and best of all, a blow-molded, old-school Halloween owl. That is the coolest thing ever. And if you want to know what I mean by blow molded, it's actually the process by which they're made. They're lightweight, hollow, plastic decorations that you used to have like a big cord coming out of with a light bulb inside. These ones light up with some kind of LED inside. Yesterday I kept asking myself, why are they lighting up red? Why would they put a red light in it? And then I realized, duh, it's the color of the plastic and it's orange. Something's wrong with me. Dude, these are very exciting because there really haven't been new blow-molded Halloween decorations for years, and the vintage ones started to go for crazy money. Honestly, literally, too much money. But this year, it seems like manufacturers have been paying attention because 2022 is apparently the year of the blow mold's return. And not just here, but I'll talk about that more later. What makes these ones in particular so freaking awesome is the vintage content. That's straight up 1930s through 50s Halloween imagery that's so missing these days. I mean, to me, the witch looks very early 1950s, you know? The pumpkin very 1940s, and the owl 1930s, and even farther back because there are Victorian Halloween cards that show owls like that in a very similar art style. These, of course, remind me of those old cutouts. So what is it, Bestel or Biestel? I've never known how to pronounce it. It's one of those words I always read and never say out loud. The word gets overused now, but these are literally like iconic figures of Halloween. And if I didn't know better and just saw one in an antique store, I would think that it was from the 1950s or 60s. That's how old school they look. And they are 50 bucks a pop, which ain't cheap, especially considering that they're not all that big. You know, some blow molded things would come up all the way to Allie's waist or maybe higher. But considering that most vintage blow molded pieces like this, particularly anything black and orange, can now run well into the hundreds of dollars a piece, it's a heck of a bargain. Like I said, we found some other new modern blow molds I'll show you later back at the house, but these absolutely blew me away. It's the vintage design, dude. So even though we swore we weren't gonna buy anything new for Halloween this year, I had to, because that owl is too good. And speaking of old vintage paper mache classic Halloween decorations, look at these. They have gone beyond vintage and have now recreated full-on antique style Halloween decorations like those classic old school tea light lanterns. And as you guys know from years past, if there's one thing I like, it's vintage Halloween. And antique Halloween, yeah, that can be part of it. Grandma's house Halloween stuff, you know what I mean? Dude, this is a very popular choice today. Anyway, before we run out of batteries and time, we've got to move on to the last room over here, which contains none other than the big man himself. Oogie Boogie time! Look at this guy covered in bugs, made out of some kind of old sack. I think there's a little bit of resin maybe on there. It's hard to tell materials-wise. I think this one's actually still for sale. You can see it's not too hardened up. It's still flexible. And I love the way he kind of fluoresces in this black light in here. Dude, that is so cool. But what's arguably even cooler, and I know it's hard to top Oogie Boogie, are the sort of quasi-Dia de los Muertos style decorations in here, particularly this giant skeleton up above. Look at him above the bookshelf right there. That is sick. Who thought of that? It's not just the creative materials. It's not just the theme. I mean, everybody loves Nightmare Before Christmas. Just some of the execution, the ideas are so genius. They're so simple. But it all comes together so well. It's a good argument in favor of why interior designers earn their paychecks. I don't know who's responsible for all of this, but if I was rich, I would hire them to decorate my booth, and my house, and my bedroom, and my bathtub, and my van maybe. But just look at the way the skeletons are displayed. It makes them look like they're all rehearsing for the skeleton dance. I love it. I love all of it. So many things. And I love that so much of it is so old school. Oh, look at these candies. Harkening back to the glory years. What's next? Popcorn balls making a comeback? You never had a popcorn ball on Halloween, did you?
I did.
You did? On Halloween from a stranger?
No, not from a stranger.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can distinctly remember when it was like, no more apples, no more popcorn balls, there might be razor blades in the candy. Ah! Oh, look at that. It's me as a pumpkin, dude. Ah! Me when I look at my credit card statement lately. Ah! That's why it's probably best to get out of here as soon as possible. Can't afford to buy any more blow molds. Uh-oh, that'll make Allie sad, like this sad ghost. Dude, whether it's the little pillows or the little trick-or-treat characters, the Halloween blow molds, which are by far the best thing. Come on, let's face it, these old-school creepy glass-eyed pumpkins, these giant solid pumpkin candles. There's a lot of magnificence in here, apart from just the theming and the decorations that I came to see. Well, let's take one more second to appreciate that those decorations are, in fact, pretty gosh darn freaking totally and incredibly creative, delightful, and epic, if not a little unsettling. Well, there you have it, gang. Rogers Gardens in Orange County's Halloween Boutique 2022 edition Nightmare Before Christmas. Last year's theme was even better because it was sort of the old classic monsters, Frankenstein, the Mummy, you know. I like that even more. And trust me, I like Nightmare Before Christmas a lot, but because we spent so much time in Florida at Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, we missed out last year. We didn't get to see it till all the big props had been sold and removed. We didn't get to see the monsters. That's why this year we made it a priority to come in and see the displays early in September before they vanish without a trace. All right, gang, we're out of here, but come with us back to the house because I want to show you the other blow molds that we found this year. I'm telling you, they were back, and like 2 years ago I said I should start a blow mold company. I missed the boat. Goodbye for now, Rogers Gardens Halloween Boutique. See you next year. Okay, check this out. This right here, this ghost that you're looking at, holding a skull and a pumpkin. This is an old vintage original Halloween blow mold. I'm pretty sure we got this one at the antique store where we have our booth, and I think I picked this up when it was still relatively cheap at like, I don't know, it was probably a little over $100 or something like that a couple years ago. Could have been a little bit less, could have been like 75 bucks. I can't really remember, but check this out. Across the fireplace is another blow molded ghost holding a pumpkin. This one is brand new. And unlike the Rogers Gardens one, this one is very old school. You still plug him right into the wall and it lights right up. Obviously, it looks a little more impressive at nighttime. But yeah, look at that, brand new, only 50 bucks. So the vintage ones, which look very similar, honestly, are well over $100 now in most places. This one was 50 bucks, which seems like a lot till you remember that the actual vintage ones are, like I said, like over $100 sometimes. 50 bones, brand new, lights up just like the old ones, looks exactly the same color-wise and everything when they're next to each other, lit up. And they have these at Michael's, the craft store, right now. 50 bucks. You can see him right here next to the Rogers Gardens owl, just for scale there. Even bigger, and even, well, as vintage looking, or pretty close to as vintage looking. He looks a little bit modern, but still the same kind of style for the same price. Pretty awesome. Actually, on the subject of blow molds, at the same antique store where we have our booth, somebody brought in a blow mold. We got a heck of a deal on it, and I had to buy it because this is before we found this little ghost at Michael's, before we found the ones at Rogers Gardens, when I was thinking, oh, I miss old blow molds, and now we have a house with some space. Too bad they don't make blow molds anymore. If I'd have known, maybe I wouldn't have splashed out for Allie, but she really wanted it, and so did I. Check this guy out right here. A gigantic, enormous Frankenstein's monster blow mold. He's a little bit more dinged and danged up from being outside, and apparently he was faded and he's been outside for years and years. Now, I've seen these before for like $300 or $400 at different places, even like yard sales for one at $250 or something like that. We got this guy for less than $100. We picked up this enormous Frankenstein's monster. If you find the right kind of spray paint, like plastic specific spray paint, apparently you can touch them up and everything. I haven't done it yet. I kind of wanted to paint his jacket black and make him actually look like, you know, Universal Frankenstein, but not bad. The plug makes me think that it's pretty old. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a pretty old looking plug. Older than I thought, because when I was looking at the art style, I was thinking like maybe the 90s, but the plug makes me think way older. The plug looks like it's from the 70s or the 60s. It looks really old. Maybe somebody just put an old wire on him. He's got the light bulb down here in his rump area. I don't know what this giant metal thing was for, maybe so that you could mount him up on a wall or something like that. So it should be pretty easy to stick like a modern LED or a rope light or something like that into him. But I would love to repaint him eventually. Plastic spray paint is kind of hard to come by. It's like, I saw some on Amazon for like 30 bucks, and they have it in like hobby stores and Home Depot or places like that for like $5 or $7, but they're always out of stock. So I just got to get a hold of the right kind of spray paint, and then I might, you know, try my hand at restoring him. But yeah, look at this guy. So he's been sitting outside the front door getting bugs and stuff all over him, and Allie's probably going to be mad because, you know, there's hay and bugs and things in the living room. So maybe I should put this outside before she comes back. Halloween's sort of a special time for us. We don't go crazy for Christmas, and we don't ever go crazy on Christmas presents. We've never really taken a pure vacation where I wasn't filming and working at least the whole time. And of course, because all the medical issues, which are still ongoing. Her shots, if we were married and she was on my health insurance, would cost $24,000 every other month. So that's still been delayed. She didn't get her wedding or honeymoon. She loves Halloween, so the one time that we kind of splash out a little bit is to get a few Halloween decorations, because Allie just absolutely loves Halloween. And of course, some of the older ones we put in the booth at the antique store for sale as new ones have come. It's the one time of year I get surrounded by all kinds of stuff. Look, Halloween blankets up here. We've got a bunch of old vintage Halloween books. That was the best part of Halloween when you were a kid. You know, you go to the library, there's all the Halloween books. Look at that, Clifford's Halloween. Or how about this one? Haunted Tacos, yeah. Basically anything that's like old Grandma's house Halloween, you know, we're really into. Obviously the 60s and 70s stuff is really cool, but even the 80s and the 90s are fantastic. Look at that, Gus was a friendly ghost. You guys remember this? Now all this, of course, is much more impressive at night, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. But yeah, there you go, Halloween blow molds. I know you guys also appreciate lots of vintage stuff, so if you're in the market, if you're in Southern California, Rogers Gardens, I don't know where else you can get the owl and the little pumpkin guy or the little witch over here. If you see him pop up anywhere else, definitely leave me a comment because I'd like to know. But I'm pretty sure Michaels is a nationwide chain, so if you can find a Michaels or its equivalent somewhere, go pick up one of these. And I hear that even Target has some new blow molded stuff as well this year, although theirs looks decidedly much more modern. Like it has a kind of a cheeky, vintagey sort of appeal, but it's pretty modern looking for my money. Actually, maybe I can show you guys what it looks like. I know Tyler bought one from a Target, I think the Target in Fullerton. But while I'm standing here, there's a couple things I want to tell you and show you before I go anywhere or show you his blow-molded pumpkins. The honeymoon we never had was supposed to be on the East Coast in the fall, during the fall leaves. It's all Allie's ever wanted to see, so I was selling some signs on eBay. These are the last two I forgot to put up before. The last two I'm going to put up is a little fundraiser. Because I'm going to try and take Allie to the East Coast in a couple weeks. She's still recovering. We did the Oogie Boogie Bash, as you know, we did Halloween Horror Nights, and those were so close together that afterwards she was pretty exhausted. So we've been taking it easy again, recovering, and so that made me go back to the garage and fiddle with a little bit more wood carving. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if it'll be for sale or I'm just going to keep it forever, but I carved this nice Frankenstein head right here, a little Frankenstein's monster head. And then I went crazy and spent 7 hours in here starting to work on my little ode to the old Splash Mountain that's going away soon forever. Kind of hard to see because it's still unpainted. Still working on it with my great-grandfather Alex P. Campbell's little tiny tools and chisels. So I'm still kind of working away, like I said. Who knows, maybe one day I'll be able to make copies or something and put that for sale. I don't know, it's just I'm working on it because I'm just trying to develop a skill. I'm just trying to develop a skill. I've never been able to make things before. And then in here in the living room, amongst the boxes of new merch that showed up, like finally for the first time ever, tote bags. We got these sick Halloween tote bags and some regular Random Land tote bags by Allie's request. She really wanted totes. We got these, and I think we have another one as well. In and amongst these boxes are 3 gigantic, I mean gargantuan boxes in here. Because you may remember, after Allie's last surgery, I had a friend who thought it would be hilarious to send her a giant teddy bear, and this time, he didn't want to look like he cared any less than last time, so he sent 3 gigantic teddy bears. Now sure, he did this as a loving gesture to show Allie support, I'm sure of that, but he also did this as a prank on me, because he knows that now I'm going to have more gigantic teddy bears in my living room, and I have, as much as I'm like, great, I must also admire it and say, well done, sir. Bravo. Bravo. Oh, and the second I open this plastic bag, you know what's going to happen is this bear is just going to inflate. And there's 3 of them. There's 3 of them! It's so much harder than you would think, even just getting it out of the box. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Great. Great, this is perfect. You think they're big now, straight out of the box. But I'm telling you, after they sit in the air for a while, they just start to inflate even more. That's one bear. Oh. Shocked me. Second bear, and there's bear number 3 over there by all the boxes from unboxing the Halloween stuff. Great! Oh, you're back. What do you think?
I like them, they're cute.
I like how you fit there on that couch with the bears. Where the heck am I gonna sit? Now there's barely any room.
So cute, they have little fall bows.
Why did it have to be giant bears again? It took forever to get rid of the last bear, and there was only one of them. And we gave it away to, I think it was a school for kids with special needs or something like that, and the teacher came and picked it up and took it, and I have no idea how my mom found that person to donate the bears to. I'm sure these bears will be donated also, but in the meantime, apparently, I'm just gonna have to, sit on the floor while we watch Halloween movies. And I do have plenty of Halloween movies to watch. Cause stop! Hammer time. I got a whole bunch of Hammer horror movies to watch. Yeah. This is unbelievable. I thought you were gonna come home and be annoyed, and at least I would partially get to enjoy the prank. Like, oh look, haha, Allie's annoyed. Instead, you're loving this. You're loving it. I'm surrounded by bears. I'm surrounded by bears. I don't even live in the woods! Well, in the meantime, I don't want to leave you hanging. Let's go to Target, the Fullerton one, and see if they have any more of those Halloween blow molds. Now I'm covered with bear lint. Great. Which would be fine, except it's so itchy. I think those bears had fleas. Oh yeah, Halloween stuff is back at Target. And speaking of blow molds, look at this. I didn't know they were gonna have these. They have blow molded pumpkin pails. For the last couple of years, all they've had is like buckets like this, where they look like sand pails. I told you guys, blow molds are back. This is the year of the return of the blow mold. What in the world? I've never seen one like that. That is sick. So much good stuff. Look at these blow molded skulls right there. Those are sick. Lot of good stuff this year. Lot of good stuff. Oh, look at that. Dun 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 dun. Psst. Almost there. Lots of birds. Julio? And there it is. There it is right there. That's the one that Tyler got. Look at that. It's interesting. It's not quite fully three-dimensional. Look at it. It's a little more flat than I would personally like. And it looks like a bit modern-ish. You see what I'm saying? Like, vintage vibes, modern styling. Sort of fits in with their other big, like, 3D pumpkins. Hello, hello! Oh, I had a surgery! Just like you. Hey, look, that thing is 1 alley tall.
But yes, this is what I was talking about. They have the blow molded stuff.
It's pretty good. I think this one is $30. It looks like it's only $30, which is not bad. Just all depends on your preference whether you think that fits in with your Halloween style or not. We're keeping it a little more vintage, I think. I'm like really picky about it, I guess. You're sort of picky too, but not as picky as I'm. Way more picky. Like, that doesn't look vintage. Like, I know lots of people love the inflatable stuff. I've never been big on inflatables just because they weren't around when I was little, so I mean, they're fun to look at. A bunch of people in our neighborhood and down the street, all around Anaheim, you can see those inflatables everywhere. But whenever I see them in the daytime, just flat on people's lawns, they look so sad. Okay, that's cool right there. We have the cat. We got the cat, I think, last year or the year before. That is so cool. They've got some good stuff. They've got some good stuff. See? I saw. Whoa! Ooh, look at that little squish. This looks like something from a Ghibli movie right there. That little bat. Oh, look at that.
Happy Halloween!
Oh, you too, buddy. Ah, if you want to go fully new school, you can get me on Halloween. Look at that. Yeah, Target always has good stuff, but this year, I'm just loving the classic orange and black aesthetic. Old school Halloween cats, just like our new shirt. We got the Random Land Frights cat. Look at this, they even have Halloween cornhole. Ooh, I like that bag. I like that one. Spooky spider rings. They never go out of style. Ooh, teeth, finally I'll have all of them. What's this? Look at that. Oh boy, we better get out of here quick before you spend money. Why are you still holding that thing? That's cool, they have little trick-or-treat wagon kids. Oh, look at the flashlights with the little designs. All right, Mr. Pumpkin, it was nice knowing you. We're gonna have to leave you here though, because of course we're trying to get to New England this year. I'm sorry, we just gotta save our money. It's a simple matter of dollars and cents. It's nothing personal. She can't reach. She can't reach. Goodbye, Mr. Pumpkinhead.
Welcome to my humble graveyard. It's so sweet to see you. Oh, it sure is.
Welcome, everyone. Now let's all laugh, scream, and have some spooky fun.
That one's cool. They've got an excellent selection this year. And a selection. I don't want to turn into Target update channel, but it's hard with this stuff. I just wanted to show you the one molded thing. Yikes, dude. Get me away from all of this sugar. Except that sugar. Where'd she go? Another thing they have at some Target are these sick NECA monsters right here. They redid them as old Remco figures, if you know about that. I might talk about that later this Halloween. I'll show you guys my monster toys. And these ones glow in the dark. And they're on these cards. I've got the mummy. I'm waiting for Frankenstein's monster. I need Frankie. Man, they got a bunch of stuff now. When did being a weird nerd become so popular that you could just buy nerd stuff everywhere? I'm not complaining. I don't hate it. I'm just confused.
But I will tell them to go away until you come back in a costume that's scary.
One more thing. Apple cider's already here. Dang. Oh, and look at that. The monster cereals with the weird artwork on them. Kaws or whatever. K-A-W-S, you know, the artist. Did some weird versions. All right, we gotta get out of here. I've got Count Chocula at home. Dude, see, those were the perfect edition at only $1.50 each. All right, well, we got those signs packed up for eBay. We're getting a bunch of this new merch ready to ship out. It's all on the store now. So we've barely begun to do it. We got a lot of work to do. But you, my friends, have done your duty. You can go home and sleep well. Thanks for watching. Rip Payless. You can't love the bears. You can't love them.